Hello, this is the fourth in my series of weekly videos for the website friendlyatheist.com. I'm Edward Tarte, once a Catholic priest for 5 years in the 1960s, now an atheist. This video continues my thoughts from last week on funerals from my perspective as an ex-Catholic priest. When as a priest I conducted the funeral, part of what I did was to give a short sermon to try to give some degree of comfort to the mourners. In the sermon, usually I said basically, Jesus rose from the dead, and that is our assurance that we will one day rise from the dead and be with God in heaven. What I could have said in my sermon to the mourners, but never did, is what the Catholic mourners believed if they knew their church's teaching. Something like this. Your deceased loved one was born in the filthy condition of original sin, separated from God. But the good news is he was baptized, so maybe he can get to heaven. God monitored his every action and thought 24/7. If your deceased loved one gave full consent to even one pleasurable sexual thought not directed toward procreation and was unrepentant until death, his soul is at this moment enduring agonizing torture in hell, and after Judgment Day his body will join in this agony forever. But if at the moment of death he had only some not so serious sins on his soul, he is probably at this moment suffering severe punishment in purgatory, but he will eventually go to heaven after hours or days or years or centuries of purgatory punishment, we don't know how long. However, if you will come to the church office and pay me $2, I will say one of my daily masses for him, praying to God to reduce his time in purgatory if that's where he is. You can make this deal with me once or once a month or perhaps even once a week. Maybe he's in heaven already, but that is perhaps a long shot. Again, I assure you, even though that is Catholic teaching, I never said anything like that at a funeral mass. Instead, I tried to speak some gentle words of consolation as best I could. It was never easy for me. According to a recent comment that I read on the internet, a woman whose infant daughter had just died was told by a Catholic nun, "God is sad along with you because of your daughter's death. But God took her from you because God needs her with him in heaven more than you need her with you here on earth." The woman said in her comment that when the nun said those words, it was very difficult not to scream at the nun that that was one of the most stupid things that she had ever heard in her entire life. When I was a high school math teacher, one of my students, whom I had tutored in his home and who was currently a student of mine in the classroom, shot himself to death in the mouth. He was the class president and one of the best-liked students at the school. His parents were two of the kindest, sweetest parents of a teenager that I have ever known. His suicide ruined their lives. He was a Protestant Christian. At his funeral, the preacher said, "I am absolutely certain that he is now in heaven because he accepted Jesus as his Savior." As an atheist, I say that what I said as a priest at funerals, what that nun said to that lady, and what that minister said at the student's funeral are all based on delusion and superstition. As an atheist, when a person's loved one dies, I am at a loss for words. I can hug the grieving person. I can give him some food. I can drive him somewhere. I can run an errand for him. I can remember and perhaps celebrate with him the life of the person who died. I cannot say to the grieving person, he's now in a better place. One day you will be reunited with him in heaven. I can't say anything like that. To all of you, thank you for watching this video.